We're back for part 3 of our micro crawler build. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, go check them out. That's where we built up this sweet Coupe RC chassis, and we also installed our links and our axles and got all that running stuff on the bottom end ready to go. In this video, we are going to be doing some fun stuff. If you can see, I've got some wheels and tires on here. These are a fresh set of Injora comp pins. I believe they're the S4. I'll make sure I link them below. But I just put these on a set of these sweet Injora 1.3 wheels. Had to do a little bit of cutting, but I really enjoy the look of these, and I think they're going to be some nice tires. And in part 3, we're going to be talking about wheels, tires, and also we're going to be talking about a body. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let's dive on into this. I'm going to zoom in on these wheels a little bit, show you what I'm working with, and talk a little bit about what I did to make them work. So before we get into talking about the body and actually painting the body up, we'll be doing that in this video as well. These are both made by Injora. These are the comp pin. These are 1.0 tires, and like I said, I put them on a set of 1.3-inch beadlock wheels from Injora. So to do that, I would suggest looking up a video, 1.0 tire to 1.3 wheel, and you're gonna find some good options from other guys who have made videos talking about and showing how they do it. I believe I watched the Mini Shop RC's video, and he did a really good tutorial where you pretty much just cut the beadlock off the 1.0 tire and it'll fit almost perfectly on this 1.3 wheel. So this is a sweet little looking rig. It's starting to turn out really nice and we're getting closer. I got a suggestion from one of you guys to throw a rubber band on the front end, so I did that. I threw a couple extra in my box too, so we got some spares, and I think it's gonna help a lot keep this front sucked down to the ground when you're climbing up stuff. It's just gonna be a little bit of extra performance there. So thank you for that tip. Now I say we look at the body that we're gonna be painting up, because we're getting closer. A little bit at a time, we're almost there. In the next video, I'll be doing all the electronics, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss that one. Let's check out this body before we get outside and start painting it. Now I did a lot of the prep work before I started recording this video, obviously. I know this can be pretty time consuming and I didn't want to bore any of you. So I have other videos that I've done in the past with like full tutorials on how I paint RC bodies. I actually just redid one on my RC crawler not too long ago, my 10 scale crawler. So we're kind of copying that paint job on this sweet little LGRP racing body. Little Guy Racing Products, I'm sure you've seen these. I don't know if you've seen one as cut up as this one is, because in order to make it work on this chassis, I had to do some trimming. So I got this thing pretty much laid out where I want it. I think it's gonna look really, really cool on here. Obviously it's still clear, but we're gonna start painting this thing up in just a second. So let's go ahead out to the paint booth. Let's start throwing down some coats of purple on this, and let's start getting ready to get this car finished up and out on the rocks, because I don't wanna keep waiting to drive this thing. I'm ready to go. Okay, got this body all prepped and ready to go. I'm out here outside with my little airbrush setup. I got my purple for my base coat. I've got the magenta for the flames, and we'll be loading it up into here and starting to hit some coats on it right now. Start with a nice mist coat, just a real light coat, just to fill up some of the gaps around the stencil. Get it to start sticking to the actual Lexan plastic. Now my paint has some special additives in it that will also help it stick to the plastic, so go check out my tutorial if you'd like to see that, and also check out the comments, because people always leave great comments, you know, with helpful tips, so definitely go check those out too. It's a pretty simple paint job, but it's one of my favorites. I've got it kind of running as a theme through a lot of my bodies. The flames are a newer addition, but it's a fun one. There we go, nice mist coat on here. Such a small body, I don't have to worry too much about running out of paint. My first coat's done. It's looking pretty good. I really like this purple. If you guys go check out my other videos, you'll see a lot of it. But we're gonna do some flames in that magenta. Once this thing has a few minutes to dry and to really just kind of stick to the plastic. So that's the goal. If you guys want to learn airbrushing, it's a fun technique. You get to do some really cool stuff. There's a custom color that I've mixed up probably about 2 years ago, and I keep remaking it because I really like the way it looks, and then I always get compliments because you really don't see it that often. So you can do fun stuff with an airbrush. I like using the Createx paints. I've just had good luck with them, and it's something I grew up watching my dad use, so I just kind of started using them too. So check it out though. There's a lot of cool tips and techniques for airbrushing, and you can do really intricate stuff, which is really cool. As long as you do your prep work right and all that stuff, you're kind of good to go. All right, we got our first coat of purple all laid down. This is a nice heavy coat. I gotta let this dry for a little bit, but then I'm gonna come back through and peel those stencils for my flames off, hit it with the magenta, let that all dry, back it with white. That way everything really pops off the back of this and you see the pearl kind of shine in the light. And then this body will just be about ready to go once we clean up the window stickers and get all of our little overspray cleaned up. So I'm gonna check back in with you after I get the flames all laid down and everything's backed and we're back at the bench ready to get this body installed. All right, we got this body all finished up, as you can see. Looking pretty good. I like the flames. I should grab my 110 scale color. Let me grab that real quick, I wanna show you that. There's my 110 scale right here. And here's the micro body next to it. Oh, I think it's sweet, that's dope. So a mini and a big. So let's get this thing put off the side and I'm gonna throw this body onto our chassis. We'll get a good look at how it's actually gonna look now. I'm a fan, it already looks pretty sweet. This chassis actually comes with magnets already, as you can see right here. So we're just gonna be taking the 3M tape I have on the bottom of this. We're gonna be peeling it and we're gonna be leveling this off and getting it all set up right where we want it to go onto this chassis. And then we're gonna stick it on and that should be perfect placement. This is kind of how we do it with the RC drift cars. So let's get into that real quick and then let's talk about some electronics. All right, first step is just peeling back the double stick. This is 3M Extreme double stick tape, like you would use on your ESCs or anything like that. And we're gonna do them all at once just to make it easier. Excited to see what this thing looks like. Already kind of obviously we've test fitted it and you can kind of see, but this will be the ultimate test. All right, so now the trick is lining up the magnets front and back with the wheels and tires. So I'm gonna get everything straight. That way I can see where it all needs to go. So now I got a little bit of room back there. Want this pushed up far enough to cover the servo. I think we're gonna stick right there. Okay. Now that's sticking on that one. It's going on that one. Looks nice and lined up. Might have a little bit of rubbing, but that's what we'll do a little bit extra trimming for. But I got the back end looking good. So here's a quick little preview of it. This thing's nasty. Look at this thing. This thing's a little beast. Bam. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of rubbing up in here, so I might have to do a little scoop in on that so they can fit. But this thing looking like a nice little comp rig. Look at that. I like it. And then we should be able to pop this body right off. A little twist. You can see right where our magnet's stuck to it. I can reinforce these and press them down pretty good and get a little bit of extra stick to them. But since they are such small magnets, we shouldn't have too much to worry about with this whole thing. And when it's time to put it back on, just click it right back into place and you're good to go. Just a little close-up look at it. Not bad, not bad. Oh yeah, it's got some strength too, as you can see. Like the little flames, once we get some little stickers going to, it'll be fun. Chop the rear tailgate off on that thing. But yeah, this paint job turned out really nice. I like the way it looks. I'm excited to get my electronics thrown into here and get this thing out on the trail. All right, before we end this video, I told you I was gonna show you my electronics, so let me show you what I got here on the bench. So Furatech just released this brand new Micro Python ESC, so I went ahead and got one of those. This thing is tiny, tiny, tiny. It's right there next to my thumb. You can see how small it is. So that's gonna be a really nice little ESC to slip up under the hood of this thing. Should have some room for it because it is so small, which is nice. Now I'm gonna keep the stock motor for now, this one that came with this Injora transmission, just because it's gonna make it easier, but I do have ideas for what I'm gonna swap it out with. Along with my ESC, for a servo, we went with the Reef's Micro 99. Easiest one to get my hands on. I don't know what's gonna be best. I don't really know which direction to go with that. Along with all this for electronics for my receiver, I got this micro Futaba receiver from Super G. They carry these for all their micro racing stuff, the Mini Zs and all the really fast guy stuff. So these are nice to have. I am gonna have to convert some of these plugs over because I didn't realize these didn't come with the micro plugs, but I have stuff to do that with. Here's a couple extra cables, servo horn, Mia servo horn, and my other extra cables. And I do have some batteries lying around from the SCX24, so we're gonna be using that. But for now, guys, that's the end of this one. This thing is almost ready to go. In the next video, we will be putting all these electronics into this little truck and getting it dialed in. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. I hope this has helped. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in the next one.